This is the mini lesson on investigating the evidence. So the protocol when investigating a crime scene is first you want to interview. So the first officer at the scene um, will be interviewed by detectives, or the victim will also be interviewed by detectives if there is one, to determine what could have happened, what crime took place, and how it was committed. So this information may not be factual information, but it's a start for investigators to figure out where they're going to go next. The second step in the investigation of a crime scene will is to examine, so help identify possible evidence, identify the point of entry and point of exit, and outline just the general kind of crime scene layout. Next, they'll document, so creating pictures of the scene, drawings, as well as anything that will give a memory to the layout of the crime scene to identify the exact position of the deceased victim or other evidence within the crime scene. So this will be documenting so they can look back at it as they continue to investigate the crime. The fourth step in this protocol would be processing. So the crime scene technician will process the crime scene for evidence, both physical and testimonial evidence. And it is the crime scene technician's responsibility to identify, evaluate, and collect physical evidence from the crime scene for further analysis by a crime laboratory. And all of this is got a strict protocol so that all of this evidence, if needed, can be presented in court. So we're going to look at different evidence or lab units and what type of evidence they'll look at. So in a forensic lab, what lab units will do what? So the drug chemistry lab will determine the presence of controlled substances and the identification of marijuana. So any kind of illegal drugs, so cocaine, marijuana, which isn't really illegal in our state, but it is federally illegal. The drug chemistry lab would look at this evidence. Trace chemistry, they're going to be identifying and comparing materials from fires, explosions, paints, broken glass, soil, stuff like that. Microscopy is using a very good microscope to identify and compare evidence such as hairs, fibers, wood, soil, building materials, insulation, stuff like that, to see if you can figure out where it came from, or maybe link somebody to a crime based on maybe the same stuff they find uh, related to that person. Biology and DNA. This unit will analyze body fluids, dried stains such as blood, semen, or saliva, and they're trying to find a DNA fingerprint of either a victim or a suspect. Toxicology will test body fluids and tissues to see if there's any drugs or poisons present in those body fluids. Latent prints are using fingerprints or other impressions like shoes, feet, teeth, tread of vehicle tires. So identifying those and comparing them to a database of known prints. So ballistics has to do with firearms. So anything to do with a firearm, bullets, ammunition, the actual gun, gunpowder. So they study that and they compare it to fired bullets, cartridges, guns, patterns on people and objects. So tool marks unit will examine marks left by tools on objects at the crime scene or on the victim, such as using a hammer to break the door, a screwdriver to pick a lock. If someone's been hit with something, trying to decide what that tool was based on the marks that it left on the body. Question documents is just examine any documents that are involved in a crime, comparing handwriting, the type of ink on it, the type of paper, how it was written, like what type of instrument, printer, or anything that'll help identify where it originated from. So for practice, I want you to find 5 items that you would collect from this crime scene. Explain how you would use them to gather clues about what the crime could have happened here. So circle them and then list and explain them in the space provided in your notes.